I had like a weird spiritual awakening. I didn't sleep for 50 plus hours and had passed out at work because of my alcohol addiction and stuff. And it was just like a hitting a rock bottom and I was in so much pain that I like did not sleep. I thought I was hearing things, like I was just losing it for a moment. And that's when some sort of breakthrough just kind of happened in my head. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was like a switch flipped. Woo. Yeah, I can hear myself.
We live? We in here?
We live.
All right, we in here. All right, ASMR ready?
Starting our new career as ASMR YouTubers.
Hey, I'm down for that.
I've been down for that.
ASMR? Mm-hmm. Why don't you do it?
I don't know. Every time I tell people that I like ASMR, they think I'm nuts. I don't think people really know what ASMR is. People like assume it's this weird fetish thing, which it can be, but
yeah, I don't know. I was talking to this girl, this girl was over maybe like a few days ago. She was telling me that like at night she literally just plays ASMR videos of like people eating. And and she'll just fall asleep to it.
I fall asleep to people talking, like whispering, so I can't judge that.
Would it be like random ass conversations?
Yeah, just whispering. It's nice because people talk too loud.
How's it going?
Yeah.
Very good.
And next we're going to... I want to do it. But I don't like when you can hear the weird noises that your mouth makes.
Like,
when you can...
Like...
Just even as they're talking.
Like,
yeah. That stuff. I can't.
Are you done, bro?
I'm done.
All right. Welcome to the Creative Hills podcast, everybody. This is a podcast where we have conversations with creatives on their journey uphill. And this is our second time around trying to do this episode now. The first time, luckily we weren't really actually in. We were like 5 minutes in. And then all of a sudden I realized that shit wasn't recording. But today's a new day. We're out here. Hopefully this one doesn't cut off.
We're excited. We're ready. Let's go.
We're ready. We're energized. It's the morning today. We're not tired. Like usually when we film these, Tony has just woken up. I've just gotten home, and today we're doing good. But actually, we kind of like the fact that it got cut off because that allowed us to like afterwards we had a whole ass conversation, and I think that really allowed us to step a little bit into your life and learn a bit more of like who you are. And I think that's one of the great things I like about actually meeting people in real life is that you meet them in real life and you see that you can only tell so much from a picture. Like you meet someone in real life and you're like, oh shit, like I would have never guessed this person was like this, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's just like, it's cool to open up to and know the real someone, because at the end of the day, a picture can only tell you so much, you know?
But we met at a party. We've already met before.
You're right. But welcome. Before I forget to introduce Kellie Eastwood, even though she kind of already...
Sorry, I took over early. Hello.
Kellie Eastwood. She's who is Kellie Eastwood?
Oh, Kellie Eastwood never knows who she is. Actually, I have a decent sense of self, but I'm a very inconsistent person. I would say absolutely I'm creative, but I don't want to label myself as either singer, songwriter, performer. I do all sorts of things, and I feel like that's most of the creatives I meet try to do all sorts of things.
You're all in one. Yeah, so going back to it, I actually remember it was a party. I believe it was at the Palms, maybe. I don't know. It was a big ass room. It was like a big ass room. It was like a penthouse almost type of vibe.
Who
it was like
invited
outdoors.
me there?
Honestly, I don't even remember who invited me there. So it's like I really don't know. I just remember we were the last one.
Was it the party that you were saying like the guy was like performing?
No. It was a different party. At this point, like I used to go to a bunch of random ass parties, and some girl invited me. I ended up sticking around to the end. I was probably drunk or something. I was probably not good to go home, so I waited it out. And I remember like there was like 3, 4, or 5 people left, and you were one of them. And you were there, and all of a sudden you were telling me about how you sing, and like you're telling me a little bit about like what you do and what your family does. And then all of a sudden you were so humble about the fact that you have a song on Spotify and all that, and then you play it and it was actually really good. And I was like, oh shit, like she got a nice voice. She got a really soft voice.
Thank you. It's that young auto tune.
That young auto-tune. No, but I find a real like a certain uniqueness in your voice that's dope. It's like I feel like you would do well in like, I'm pretty sure you want to do a lot of different genres, but like indie pop, are you big on like indie pop?
I would say primarily I write pop music. I'm good at writing like catchy hooks and just kind of shitty pop music that I wouldn't particularly listen to, but I can respect its catchiness. But I've also kind of tried to steer myself different directions, and I'm really fascinated with R&B as well, and would like to kind of move towards that genre.
Okay, what genre would you consider Flames, which is the first song I listened?
Probably pop.
Pop. I remember you told me something about like that it got on some playlist, some kind of playlist, and that's the reason that it had like a few 100,000 plays.
Yeah, I actually really love that about Spotify. And for any like young artists out there that are just starting out, it's actually not too hard to get your music on Spotify. Really not, but yeah, I love that about Spotify. They really do try to put your music on playlists, and I ended up on a Discover Weekly playlist. And that just shot me from like 10,000 listens to like 100,000 overnight, and it just kept going from there.
This was like 2 years ago, right? Something like that, since that song has come out.
Yeah, I really should have taken advantage of that and released more music around that time. But, you know, you can't force creativity. And at that time, I kind of lost interest in music for a while and was focusing on other creative outlets.
Yeah, definitely. I remember. So I guess I want to take it back to like who you are as a person, and more importantly, like what you grew up with. Like I remember you meeting you, and you said that you're a transformation artist, celebrity impersonator. What would you call it?
Yes, the world's first celebrity transformation artist is my official title at my job. I work at the Planet Hollywood in a show called the Ultimate Variety Show. It's such a good show. It's been running for 17 years now, the longest running variety show in Vegas. And the people that I work with are so passionate, are constantly backstage perfecting their craft. And I feel really lucky. I started that act a couple years ago when I was pretty lost. And my dad and I had this crazy idea to take quick change. I grew up in a circus family, so I saw a lot of quick change acts, and I saw them on America's Got Talent as well. And I was like, that looks like something I could do, but what could I do to take it to the next level? And that's when we came up with the ideas of not only am I going to change quickly, but I'm going to change from one celebrity to the next and impersonate them. Yeah,
like one of my favorite ones that I've seen is like Bruno Mars. I saw like pictures of you like being Bruno Mars, and I saw the resemblance. Like it's crazy how especially like I imagine like with all the effects and all the lighting and everything that goes on to like a stage production, like it looks legit, If you look at me up close in those costumes, I look a little bit crazy, but
So you actually have like, oh sorry.
No, go for it.
You actually have like makeup on and everything?
I wear just basic stage makeup, but I'll wear like for Bruno, I wear glasses to kind of. So I wear wigs and hats and glasses to almost cover up my face. And I think one thing that I've noticed, and one thing that gave us the idea for this act actually, was that I constantly get told I look like different people, different celebrities, and none of them ever look the same. So I think as much as I don't want to say I've been blessed with a generic face, because nobody really wants one, I've taken that and I've utilized it and made something creative out of it. So yeah, I've gotten told that I look like Bieber and Kylie Jenner and all sorts of different celebrities. So I was like, yeah, like let's utilize this.
Embrace it. Who's your favorite person to impersonate? Or
Probably Bruno. I've actually had a huge love for Bruno Mars since I was young. I've seen him perform live like 4 times. I think he is a super well-rounded creative. He can sing, he can dance, he can play like 7 instruments. He's ridiculous. And he does a lot of improv in his concerts as well, which I appreciate.
Okay. As far as like, so your family has a tradition or a family culture and things that they've, I guess, a business, a career path that they've been doing for a while. Do you plan on continuing that, or do you want to start your own thing completely?
That's actually a really good question. And nobody ever asks me this, which is interesting because as much as I love being known as my father's daughter, because he has worked so hard to make a name for himself out here, and it is a comparison that I do love to hear, but at times I feel like I lose my autonomy. Like I don't necessarily. I struggled when I was younger finding myself because I was always just Wally's mini-me. And I think this year I actually really embraced the things that make me different and stand out. And I love my job as a celebrity impersonator. I thoroughly enjoy going to work. I love everyone I work with. My dressing room is always a good time. But ultimately, in the long run, I would love to do something with my songwriting and create a name for myself separate from him.
Yeah, I love the name, by the way, Kellie Eastwood. Is that like actually your name, or did you come up with that? Like,
No, that's actually my name. I get asked frequently if I'm related to Clint Eastwood, to which I say yes, and then they're like, no way. And I'm like, yeah, so why did you ask me?
yeah, honestly, it stands out. Like it's a very, very famous person name, and I could see like a good branding like behind that name. Just Kellie Eastwood. Like there's only one Kellie Eastwood, especially the way it's spelled. Like no one spells their name like that. Kelly.
Yeah, I really, growing up, I didn't necessarily like my name Kelly, but I think it does flow really well, and it's nice that I don't have to have a stage name. It sounds like a stage name already, so that's kind of solidified that I'm meant to do entertainment as well.
Okay. But yeah, as far as our conversation, like a long time ago, I remember you told me that music was the biggest thing for you, and to this day, it's still the biggest thing for you, right?
Yes.
But aside from that, I know that you just started picking up YouTube. You said it was like your 7th time or something like that, going back on it.
Yeah, I would love to be a content creator. I think it's a great time, but I think one thing that a lot of people don't talk about is that it is a little bit mentally draining to be. Not only to be making content, it does take hours and hours and hours, but just when you're just starting out, it's really hard to see there not be much of an audience engaging and to put all that work into it and not necessarily see. But what it's taught me is that, like what you're doing with these podcasts, I need to make a million videos and perfect them before I release anything, because I get super excited about YouTube every time, and I'll release a video right after I do it, and then I don't have time to like be making my content as great as I would like it to be. Yeah. So I am taking the lack of an audience when it comes to my YouTube stuff as a lesson that I just need to make my videos more interesting, and I'm already working on that actually at the moment. So
that's good. That's good. Like, do you see yourself having everything on one channel? Like, I think that was one of the biggest dilemmas for me personally. Like in my life, I personally like to do music. I like to do videos at times. I like to do certain different things, avenues, and one of the big questions for me was like, keep it all in one channel, make different channels. And I think that still to this day, it's kind of like, I think I'm just going to go with one channel, but it's tough, you know?
It is tough. And that is a huge struggle for a lot of creatives, and nobody really talks to us about it.
Yeah.
We feel like that's a struggle that's only within ourselves, but that is, like I was saying yesterday to you guys, I think consistency is like the most overrated thing.
Yeah.
I like to be steered a million different directions, and I think if I were to do YouTube, which I'm going to keep the spontaneity and the randomness of my life within my channel. But I think if you try to keep it to one thing, you're not going to succeed at that, and it's going to become a mess. So you have to let yourself be a little bit spontaneous and random.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Especially like at this point in time where like everyone's so ADHD, and like at this point in time, like no one can really do one thing. I feel like nowadays you have to be in like so many different markets or so many different avenues, and it's just like might as well do it. You know, might as well have fun and just do the most. One of the things like us. So I used to be a photographer at one point, and that was what I was strictly known for. Like I still have a different page for that, but That's where I had most of my like early following, and I did that for the longest. But one of the things that happened that I didn't like is that I would show up at a place and everyone would be like, "Where's your camera?" This currently happens this currently happens to Tony. Everyone's like, "Hey, where's your camera?" And he's like, "Damn, like I can't just be here for fun, like damn." And so I guess when it comes to you and like people knowing what you do, are they ever like, perform something for us right now? Or
all the time. Every time anybody asks me
do
what
a
I
magic
do,
trick.
do an impersonation, do Michael Jackson, I'm like, no, I'm here to have a drink and have a good time. Like, I'm not trying to be that's not our entire personality, and so often people think it is. And I think most creatives are introverts/extroverts, introverts in extroverts' bodies, and there is we do enjoy it. We do enjoy entertaining. I love being the center of attention. I really thoroughly do. But then I'll be at a party being the center of attention, and then like 30 minutes later, my social timer runs out, and I'm just sitting on the couch like spacing out. And so, yeah, people need to be a little bit more aware of like, we're not like, I can say this, I guess, because it's my culture. I'm not like a circus freak, and people think that like, oh, do a trick, do this, and I'm like, no, I'm a human being. Like I'm just hanging, I'm just vibing.
Like at the end of the day, that's just one of the things we do. Like that's not, it's what we do. It's not who we are necessarily. And there's so many other things that go on about us. Here's an interesting thing I found out about you is that you're actually a fraternal twin.
Yes.
How's that?
It's interesting because my twin sister, my parents pretty much printed out carbon copies of themselves. So I look exactly like my father and act exactly like my father. And then my sister looks and acts exactly like my mom. She's blonde hair, blue-eyed. She's a financial advisor in Washington, D.C. Like, we're polar opposites, but she happens to be my best friend. And that's been nice growing up on two different sides of everything. Like we gained perspective very early because we saw the world so differently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then with you guys traveling all the time, being young, because I think you said that you guys would be like a traveling circus, right?
Actually, my dad grew up in a traveling circus. We did not, but we did travel a bit for my dad's work growing up. Yeah.
Did that allow you to see like a lot of different like parts of the country, the world, or like what? Yeah. What did you learn from that, I guess?
I would say I was actually probably too young at that point to really embrace that, and I took it for granted a little bit growing up, and personally I don't remember a lot of my childhood, so that's that. But I did actually travel with the circus show like a year and a half, and man, it taught me a lot. It was a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
And I did get to see a lot of the country, which was cool. I would take it upon myself, like when we got to a new city or state, to just like leave. Everyone was always like, where did she go? But I like exploring. I like my alone time and going and exploring, and I did really enjoy that. And now if I had a map of the US, I could cross at least like 20 more states off of that I've been to now because of just that 1 year of tour.
That's good. Mm-hmm. Right now in your personal life, do you see yourself staying in one area? Like, do you want to stay in Vegas for a while? Do you want to move? Like, do you want to be in different places at once? Like, what is your life? Your vision of your life?
I don't really have one. So I was addicted to destination addiction for a long time, and just like, I need to get here. I need to do this in a year, and I need to, be back in LA in a year from now. And now I'm just kind of enjoying the process. And because I was on tour for a year, I'm thoroughly loving every moment of just being stable in Las Vegas. And I enjoy my job. I feel like some sort of peace of mind for the first time as a creative, because I get to be doing what I want to do as a career now. And so, I love the stability of, I am kind of a homebody at times, and having my like new little apartment, it's been nice. And if anything, if I move, it will absolutely be towards another big city, though. I have to be in a busy environment.
Yeah.
So LA, New York.
You wouldn't go to any country city, I guess, like the woods, random nowhere, a farm.
Those
Utah.
are great for me. Those are great for like little vacations or like getaways, or like if I do get overwhelmed, I want to throw myself in the woods once in a while and just like really just be one with nature. But I'd be lying to myself if I said I would enjoy that in like just my everyday life. I need stimulation.
You need to be constantly like moving or going through the motions. Have you ever thought of acting?
Yes, actually, I don't know if I would be good at it or not. I can't tell if I would overact or like underact. But I think I've lived a good amount of life and had all sorts of crazy experiences, and I think that translates really well for actors. So I wouldn't mind giving it a try, but I don't know if it's something that I would go out of my way to like audition or anything. But if somebody was like, I need an actress for this, I'd be like, all right, I'll try it, and you can kick me out of the set if I'm terrible at it.
What's I guess another thing you want to accomplish or do, I guess, like maybe career wise or dabble into, whether it's like outside of YouTube, outside of music? Is there anything else that sparks your interest right now?
Being on a reality TV show.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think that would amp up my following. And from there, my whole thing right now is trying to get a following so that I can use that voice to be doing what I want to be doing.
Yeah.
So, me working in a show right now is a means towards me being able to songwrite and content create and stuff. But so yeah, I think if I were to get on a reality TV show, that would be a great stepping stone towards where I want to go.
Yeah, I think those things help a lot. Like I stopped using my photography account for like a long time, a year or two, and I just recently got back on it, and I was looking through like all the people that still follow me and I follow, and like there was this one girl where I met her like 3 years ago, and she was just like an average girl. I would have never thought she would be on TV. And then all of a sudden, like I look at her profile and she has a blue check, and then it said like on MTV show, blah 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 blah, and I'm just like, damn, like all it takes is like one thing to change your life to put you on that level.
And I think it takes extreme amounts of focus. As a creative, I have so many unfinished projects, and it's like we just need to get them done and get them out there and like push ourselves. It's hard. Mental health gets in the way, and I'm always blocking myself. I'm self-sabotaging all the time, but I've realized that like the more I just put myself out there in a million different ways, the more people are flocking to my page and are interested in who I am.
Yeah. I think that's scary, like the self-sabotage thing, how sometimes there's not even obstacles in the way, but we create them for ourselves, whether it's being afraid of what people might think or judgment, anything. It's just like we find ways to fuck ourselves up.
Yeah, comfort zones are our worst enemy. My comfort zone stopped me for years and years and years, and I can finally say it doesn't. And I've flourished so much since I stopped letting my comfort zone define me.
What do you think made the change?
Probably reading, to be honest. Like I read a lot of self-help books and like spiritual-esque books. I think reading and learning is so important. It's made me really like self-reflect, and journaling as well. Is that mine or yours?
That's mine.
Oh, it's okay. Journaling as well. Just really sitting by, like allowing yourself to like sit by yourself alone, and talk to yourself about like what you really want and where you want to go. I watch a lot of TED Talks as well. There actually is one on comfort zones that helped me a lot, but if you look up pretty much anything you're struggling with, you can find a book on it or a podcast or a TED Talk, and that's really helped me.
There's always someone out there in the world that has gone through what you're going through.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Always.
And it's so weird. I don't know why we feel like we're the only ones to like feel what we feel.
Yeah, but it's someone's lived it out there. It's happened already.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Bumble's great. Hinge is great. I have them all because,
Hinge,
you know.
Have him. My boy be
Try
exploring.
Hinge. Oh, I mean, I have Tinder. I think Tinder is like the McDonald's of like
The McDonald's.
I think so,
Yeah,
but, you
the
know,
McDonald's, and then it goes Tinder, Bumble, Hinge.
Hinge is the
okay.
most exclusive one. That's like the best one, or what?
It's just like the most normal
Because
people.
I feel like Tinder nowadays like it's full of like OnlyFans girls kind of thing, you know, like Snapchat Premium.
Yeah, and more power to them. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot more creatives on Bumble and Hinge, and I think that people are looking for something different. If that's kind of what you mean. Like they are looking more for sex on Tinder, I've noticed.
You know what I mean? Like, you know,
Isn't
I
it?
don't
I don't know.
just want
Isn't it on all of them? I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's different for me because I'm gay. But like
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Yeah, no. So girls want different things than guys want on top of like I don't know, but yeah, even for Tinder for me is a lot of couples looking for a third. And girls trying to make friends, and I'm like, that's cool, but like you don't realize my struggle here. So like
I don't know. For me personally, like I haven't used Tinder in like maybe almost 2 years probably, and for me, I don't know. I guess at one point, like I guess I'll be honest. Like for me, like that's all it was. Is just fucking around, and it's just like it. I guess for me, the question is like, I guess it is possible to actually like build a relationship with people, but like I don't know, like what are the odds? You get me? Like when I think of Tinder, it's like trying to find love at a club type shit.
Yeah, and that's reasonable. I think for me it's different because the whole gay community, like we never know when a girl is attracted to another girl. So I can't just go up to any girl like that. I don't know if they're, you know, so like that's our way of like finding each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think actually a couple of the like heterosexual couples I know met on Tinder and are doing well. So it is possible, but I definitely think a lot of people are on there just for hookups. So
What? So another one of our friends that was actually on here too. She told me like one of the biggest struggles for her being gay was that like it's hard to, you never know who is gay as well and who isn't, and like you'd get your heart broken from like another girl not liking girls at all.
A lot of girls will say that they're gay or bi, but it's just for like the experience, or not even, they won't say they're gay or bi, but they'll say they think they are, or like kind of lead it on. But I don't know, I feel like I was mistaking I don't know, I it's a lot to talk about, but I'm better at spotting when somebody's lying now. Essentially, I just wanted to hook up with straight girls when I was younger because I don't fucking know why.
Okay.
Probably self-sabotage, you know.
Sabotage. What's it called? For you growing up, did you know right away or did it take a time? Did it take a while?
Actually, no. I grew up in a Catholic household. Are we rolling? Or are you asking me just...
Are we rolling?
I don't know.
We're rolling, right? Yeah. All right, yeah, just
Okay.
make sure. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Just the way
I don't know how, but... Okay.
Well, shit.
Okay. Yeah, I grew up in a Catholic household and went to a Catholic school. So I didn't know that was even an option for me. And I was definitely told that it was a sin and all that stuff growing up. So I didn't actually come out until I was like 18. Struggle. But I knew young. I knew that I was attracted, but I didn't quite know what it was. Like I thought I just really wanted to be close friends with these girls. And I'm like, I was behaving in a weird way. Like I would get jealous over friendships and stuff, and I'm like, this isn't normal. Like,
at what point do you think you were like, I think I might actually be gay?
When I moved to California, I got actually on Tinder, and it asked me, are you interested in men or women? And I had to stop and think, and I was like, I was like, wait a minute.
Is this a new beginning?
I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I want to make some girlfriends out here. Like, I'm new here. Like, let's go. And then quickly I changed to those settings to only women.
Okay.
And then, I went on a date. And after that, I never I was like, it was women from there. Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Damn. But aside from that, like, are you sliding in the DMs, and how often are you sliding in the DMs?
I slide sometimes. I slide on my Tinder, on my Twitter a lot more often than on my Instagram.
On Twitter? Okay.
Yeah, I feel cooler on Twitter. So I'm like, if I'm gonna have a chance, it's here, not on my Instagram.
I feel it. I feel it.
Yeah, no, I have little phases where I can be a little hoe, but lately I haven't really been.
What's your go-to line? How you be sliding in there?
Well, most of the times that I actually slide into DMs, I am probably drunk.
Damn, late night, 3 a.m.
So
3 a.m.
my lines
Blame
are
it on the
probably
alcohol.
not good tips for flirting. It's probably just some dumb like, hey, like you're hella beautiful, blah, 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 you know, just some dumb shit.
Yeah, what's your go-to DM, Tony? Share the knowledge,
Just
bro.
a gif of like sliding. Those are so-
Surfboard emoji, surf man.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
A bomb emoji.
A bomb
Hey.
emoji.
3 times.
3 times. This guy. But no, okay. So I guess switching to another subject. It's so I YouTubed your name
Oh no, I don't want to know.
and no, I'm not gonna.
I want to know.
No, I'm not gonna drop any names. But so apparently, you at one point you went out with someone that is now famous,
Yes.
right? Pretty famous.
Yes.
With that, do you still get any backlash from that, or?
Yeah, so after we broke up, I deleted my social media for a minute because
All
I
of
was-
them?
no, I think it just was mostly using Instagram at the time. So I
Okay.
deleted my Instagram and made a new one because I was constantly, every post, everybody was just like, why did you guys break up? Like, blah, blah, blah. Or like, I would get like rude messages, like people being like, yeah, he deserved better than you.
So it was very, very public at the
It was,
time.
yes, super. Well, we were super young.
How old were you guys?
Like 16.
Okay.
So yeah, we were babies and super dramatic on social media. And yeah, that was it was a rough time. That was like a heartbreak for me. And I made a new social media account and kind of found myself. I think the hardest part was because I wanted to make a name for myself. It hurt that I was like only ever known as like this person's girlfriend. I was like, I'm me. Like, stop like associating me only with him. So that, I think that hurt more than the breakup, to be honest.
Yeah. And throughout that process, at that time, was he already big at the time, or is he just big now? I guess like.
So when we started talking, he was gaining a following, but nowhere near where he's at now. And I think his following started becoming large very quickly. And it was just a lot for both of us to process. It was a really, really unhealthy relationship, and it showed us the reality behind social media. And it's like people that need to be posting so much about their relationships sometimes are the ones that have the worst, most unhealthy relationships because they need that validation.
Yeah.
And if I ever get in a relationship, I would love to show that person off, but definitely not in the unhealthy way where we were like attached at the hip and everything was just about us being together and we lost our individuality.
So everything you guys did together was always together.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, at least on my end. Maybe not. He might have still felt like he had his own autonomy because he was the one that was, that people wanted to pay attention to, but I lost mine for sure. I was young, so I was kind of caught up in the needing the attention from it.
Yeah. Does that scare you nowadays? Like, I guess to be in a public relationship nowadays, does that scare you?
For myself personally, no. I'm very comfortable with myself. I feel very whole on my own. So if I do get in a relationship, it's gonna be healthy because I will make sure it is. And if it's not, I leave instantly. I don't need anybody. If I want somebody, I want somebody. But it scares me for other people. Yes, like that social media. in your formative years to be super involved on social media is scary. It's not healthy for people that aren't getting attention at home or crave it in other ways. They're going to get it in unhealthy means through social media.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's one of the biggest things that I reflected on the last 6 months is I was I had that destination syndrome or whatever you called it.
Yeah.
And with the point where I was just like, everything I did was just not necessarily what I wanted to do, but what I thought others wanted me to do. And I thought that got kind of scary. And the last year I took a step back to reflect, all right, where am I going? Where do I want to go? And yeah, I think that helped me out a lot personally. One of the biggest things that scares me personally within this whole social media age and the moment that we're living in is that I see myself and like a lot of peers, friends, including Tony, reaching a certain amount of success where we're pretty well-known people. And one of the biggest fears I have is finding love after we become successful rather than finding it when we're nobody, because I don't know, it's just like, it's a scary thing.
You're
like,
scared that they're going to want you for the wrong reasons.
Exactly, yeah.
I think our intuition is so strong though. Like, we'll know. I can tell when somebody instantly, if they're wanting to be friends with me or whatever, like when it benefits them. Because the second that like I release something that gets popular, they'll be the first person to text me. But then when I'm struggling, they don't. Like, you can tell.
Yeah,
It's so there's little moments where it's pretty clear.
So you do something big or something cool and they want to be your best friend and then...
Oh, yeah. Like, fuck you.
No, yeah, that's real. Yesterday we were talking, before you left, we were talking a little bit about spirituality and all these crystals and whatnot. What made you get into that world?
This is actually, I don't know if I should answer it this way, but I'm going to. I had a weird spiritual awakening. I didn't sleep for 50 plus hours and had passed out at work because of my alcohol addiction and stuff. And it was just like hitting a rock bottom and I was in so much pain that I did not sleep. I thought I was hearing things. Like, I was just losing it for a moment. And that's when some sort of breakthrough just kind of happened in my head. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was like a switch flipped. And I woke up that next day. Didn't really wake up. I was already awake. But everything changed. I got sober for like 5 months. And I actually got sober. So I was asking the universe for a sign when I was having this awakening. And right as I was doing that, I got spammed by a page on Instagram called A Sober Girl's Guide. And I was like, I need to get sober. And so I did. And I kind of dove into spirituality, and it's not even just listening to the universe or its signs, and I do that, but it's just more than anything, it's your gut. And like now every move I make, I think them through and make all the right moves, and I don't allow myself to get to those rock bottoms anymore. And now I meditate, I'm into crystals, I'm turning into some spiritual bitch, but I'm enjoying every moment of it. I'm like we were saying with attention earlier, now like I used to like crave attention and now I pay attention, and I think that's the most important thing, like to just pay attention.
Bars.
Hella bars.
No, I love that, honestly. Thank you for sharing that with us. That's another big thing or big reason for this show in general that I like to do is get the more I meet different people, the more I experience different cultures, different people, and all that. Like, I really want to show the world and people that are fans of us and fans of our guests what it's really like out there. Like, I think, especially nowadays with social media, we paint a perfect picture of what our lives look like, but really aren't necessarily like all the time. So I really want to showcase like the realness behind everything of like what life is actually like. And I use this more importantly as a timestamp of like one day in the future we can go back and watch this video, listen to this however you want, and listen to where we were at this point in time. And, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to go back and realize where things were at this specific time, moment in time.
And yeah, that whole inconsistency thing, like we were talking about, how none of
Yeah.
us are consistent. And so I would not be surprised if we look back a year from now and we're totally different people going,
Yeah.
what the fuck were we talking about? Because I always think I'm saying something profound at all times. I don't know why, but then I'll look back later and I'm like, this girl, like, what was she thinking? So you're right on that.
Yeah. Who, compared to you now and you 2 years ago, what are the biggest differences?
I'm happy. I have struggled so much with my mental health, and I took any means that I needed to get to where I am, and I ask for help when I need it. And then same with the destination addiction. I'm actually enjoying the journey of being creative now, and like these moments, like just when we're even off these mics just talking, like it's nice to meet other creative, it's nice to like build connections. And I was not present at all 2 years ago, and I would always just be drinking to like get through my days. And yeah, now I'm very happy. I'm a lot calmer. I don't need to react to everything and make the voice heard at all times, the way that I like just needed people to hear me, and I needed attention back then. For what? Like, I don't know why, but now I'm happy, and I'm okay, being alone, and having myself is enough now, I think.
That's great. I really love that. You said asking for help at one point.
Yeah.
Have you always been able to ask for help, or was that something that you were scared of at one point, of, I guess, just having to let people know what you're actually going through and whatnot? Because, for example, me, or especially like I know a lot of guys, especially with the world we live in, a lot of times it's like it's not acceptable for us to share our thoughts, our feelings, and all these things. But it's some real shit. Like a lot of times we're scared to ask for help when we know it's like something we have to do.
Yeah, I think just making sure you're mindful of the company you keep around is so important, because if you are around the right people, you won't be so scared to ask for help, because you know they will help you. I think in the past I was around all the wrong people that were enablers. They were equally as low, or they were pulling me down. And so when I asked for help or even cried for help, I wasn't getting it. But now not that I only hang out with other creatives, I really do try to keep my circle diverse, but I am around people that I know would help me instantly if I needed it. Like, speaking of, my friend Shelby just texted me asking me if I drank water today. Like, she does that all the time, and I don't even need to ask for help. Like, the people around me. Shelby for president. Love her. But yeah, my friends check up on me. They know that I've struggled, and I make sure to check up on them. So, I think if you need help, you need to also make sure that when you are at those high points, that you're offering help as well.
Love that. Honestly. I think, that's definitely new to me, and I think I could still personally improve on a lot of that stuff.
If you ever need help, you can talk to me.
Hey. I will, honestly. Thank you.
I was trying to ask for help yesterday.
With? You want to share?
You want to talk about it?
I said I wanted my, $1 million.
Oh, my Lord.
But I was saying we could have got it. We just need to get a ski mask.
Get your $1 million.
It was already written.
I don't know if I can help out with that.
Trust me. All we got to do is go to Walmart, buy a ski mask.
Getaway card.
Manifest $1 million right there. What are some things you're manifesting in your life right now?
Oh, that's interesting. I have to think about that. I think I'm just trying to manifest like a clearer mind, and like, because I know that I can do anything I set my mind to, but sometimes my mind struggles. Like, sometimes I pull myself back. So yeah, it's just I pray for clarity and like the ability to focus more, because I know I'm capable of what I want to do. It's just we hold ourselves back, like we were saying. So, but there's not really much else I'm manifesting. I'd like to become a minimalist this year, actually. I'm trying to like really get rid of a lot of my material things, and I'm not not manifesting any certain level of success either, just like more happiness. And I guess I want to go further, I want to make more money, but it's not like I need it. I don't need it.
Yeah, you focus on bigger things, not just, I guess, like you said, superficial
Yeah.
items. And I love that. Honestly, that's one of the things I'm working on more myself, especially right now, because at this point I got really comfortable. Like sleep in like a master bedroom, have a big ass beanbag chair and like full of like random ass shit in the house. And compared to like, I'm planning on moving to LA in a few months, and out there I would like completely, my lifestyle would completely change. I would have barely anything over there, and it's just like the thought of doing that not necessarily scares me, but it's different, and it excites me to be more minimal in the things I have, and just really focus on what I actually need rather than what I think I need.
Yeah, that's a huge step. I'm not gonna lie, that's gonna be mentally taxing on you. I did the LA thing for a minute, and you have to mentally prep for it. And I think you can't even start prepping for it now, like going through your stuff. And if I don't use it, I ask first, do I use this? And if the answer is no, then I ask, does it bring me happiness? And if the answer is still no, I get rid of it.
Did you read that Marie Kondo book or whatever?
No, but is that from that?
Like the Japanese or
Oh yeah, it's tidying up or whatever.
Yeah.
God, I'm far from tidy. I probably need to read that, but my room's a mess.
Really?
Yeah, I'm super messy. But I try to keep my living room clean so that my roommate thinks that I'm like not a complete disaster. But yeah,
I like it. What are some things that you personally, during your time in LA, what did you love about it and what did you hate about it?
I loved the lessons it taught me, and I did meet a couple great people out there. But outside of that, I wasn't ready for LA. I was really young, and I had a great job in Vegas beforehand, and just thought, my mindset was, I'm killing it out in Vegas. Like, I'm going to be the one to make it in LA. Like, I got this in the bag. Like, no doubt. I had zero doubts. And I got knocked down hard. But yeah, I think if I were to go back to LA at any point, which I have a bad I have a bad taste in my mouth for California, to be honest, and I really need to change that, because it is a great place and it's a wonderful place to network. But it knocked me down hard, and if I ever go back, I would make sure that I'm very prepared.
Could you see yourself living in another big city like New York?
Yeah. My dad and I actually do a lot of projects together, and one of them, even though we've both been so busy lately with other stuff, one of the things we're hoping to complete is, we already created a synopsis for this musical that we're writing, and hopefully if that ends up working out, we would end up in New York. But that's just kind of one of our many ideas. We're always doing some sort of weird project together.
Yeah, I love that. You guys are close?
We're super close. I actually just moved. Well, I've been moving everywhere, but I lived at home when I first came back to Vegas for like a couple months when I was getting my act out here. And that was horrible. Like, we cannot be, because we work together already, and then to be at home together, like, we can't be in close proximity too often, because
you get tired of each other.
We butt heads, but it's so funny because we're so similar. Like, we don't realize at the end of the day, we're both so stubborn because we take pride in our work and we want to create something amazing. But sometimes I think our biggest thing is like the generation gap between us has caused us to like view things so differently and want to create different things. But I think if we can figure out how to meld that together, like meld those worlds together, we can create, endless stuff. And that's actually part of the premise of the musical. The musical is called Collide, and it's about like two different worlds colliding. So we're utilizing our own lives to give us inspiration for like what we want to create.
Do you rarely go to the movies?
I don't go to movie theaters because my ADD is so bad that I will get up in the middle of the theater and like just go walk outside. I'll say that I'm going to the bathroom, but I'll walk outside for like 20 minutes. Just walk around.
Just walk around.
Yeah, I can't. I cannot. Also, I don't know, in this day and age, going to a movie theater is kind of scary. Like, especially at night when it's like a big premiere, I get nervous.
Really? Like anything can happen?
Oh, yeah. Like, yeah, if I see a white man like standing up, I'm like, absolutely not. I need to get out of here.
You said it's time to head
It's scary. I went and saw, what movie was it? Yeah, everywhere. Honestly, everywhere. Festivals? Do you ever get like crazy anxiety at festivals? Now my alarm's going off.
Oh, I thought that was mine. I was like, oh shit. We're rolling, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Sorry, hold on.
It's all good. No, yeah, but it's scary nowadays. Like with everything going on, like the fact that you actually have to be worried about your own safety at like a normal ass place.
It's really sad because like it's like festivals, for instance, those are supposed to be the times where we're like letting the most loose and having the most fun and enjoying ourselves, and we have to live in fear because of it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah, America is interesting.
America. What scares you, Kelly?
Work.
What scares me? That's a really loaded question. Do you mean like irrational fear, like real fear? Like, are we talking dumb fears too? Like,
Yeah, dumb fears. What are
okay,
some
dumb fears. I'm afraid of eating fruit roll-ups because I've seen 2 people choke on them to the point of needing the Heimlich maneuver. Because when I was younger, you know how like people would roll them up in a ball and like try to swallow them whole?
Yeah.
Yeah, so fruit roll-ups, like, not that I ever come across them in my adult life, but
Yeah.
I had actually recently, and I had to eat it like really slowly because it was like, this
Flashbacks?
is nerve-wracking. Yeah. Other than that, sometimes I get really scared of animals, and they can sense my fear, and it's not good. Like cats. Even small dogs, if they're like aggressive, they'll sense my fear, and I get attacked very often by animals.
Really?
Which everybody says animals can read energy, so that makes me feel like, damn, is my energy like shitty? But I think it's just like my anxiety that they can sense.
Aside, I guess like no. What are some non-dumb ones?
Like deep fears.
Deep fears. What are some deep fears?
Oh, this is like just. Do you ever just like this is so sad, but do you ever just sit there and like think about that the closest people in your life are gonna die at some point? That shit fucks me up. I'm like, that's my biggest fear, is like losing the people in my life. And as selfish as it is, I would hope to go before all of them.
Damn. Smart.
I feel
Not that I really like, I'm not depressed anymore. I don't want to die or anything, but like, definitely, I don't know how I'm going to react when I've never lost anybody super, super close to me. My grandpa was pretty close to me, but that's like the only person I've lost so far.
Yeah, it's crazy because I always like think about the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck,
At the
like,
worst times too, right?
Yeah,
like you'll
it's
just
like-
be like at a party and you're like, everyone's in my life is going to die.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah, and it's like, shit, they're gonna die. I'm gonna be sad.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, then if I go and then they're alive, then
they're going to be sad.
they're gonna be alive. But at the same time, they're gonna be like it's gonna affect them emotionally. And I'm like, that is kind of selfish. But at the same time, I'm not here.
Do you
And it's
think
just-
that you would be stronger, like, to deal with it than some of them? Like, would you handle it better?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too for myself, even though I'm like, it's the scariest thing, but I think so too.
It's scary as shit. I'm scared already just thinking about like my fucking dog. I'm like,
Right?
this is the first dog I've ever had, and I'm just like, one day he's gonna die. One day.
How
and
old
then
is he?
He's like maybe like 8, 9.
Okay.
And then so now I'm just like, damn. And then but yeah, like going on like even deeper is like everyone in our lives is eventually gonna die. We're gonna die someday. We're gonna have
I know.
if we decide to have kids, if we don't, whatever, nephews, nieces, whatever, like they're all gonna see us die.
I know. And that's why I feel so blessed to like actually be spiritual. Like, I know a lot of people that have to force the beliefs, and because everybody wants to believe in something bigger, but sometimes people don't actually, and they just have to try to force themselves to believe it. But I feel really blessed because I genuinely believe in the afterlife, and I've gotten a lot of signs, and that's been enough to like prove to me that like the spirit of the people that are in my life they'll end up in the afterlife feeling bliss and be okay.
What do you think happens when we die? Where do we go? When we all fall asleep, where do we go?
I think everybody, nobody really knows, but from what I've gathered, from what I've gathered myself is I believe in like, I think that heaven and hell are a social construct, and we experience immense amounts of love and extreme hate on this planet. So I think that's heaven and hell. We experience all that here, and then the afterlife is blissful because there's no rhyme or reason why some of the best people have to deal with the worst things. So I think it would only be fair to experience like calmness and bliss in the afterlife. So that's what I've gotten a million signs from my grandpa. So that's like, he tells me all the time he's chilling, and he's up
chilling
there. I don't know where he's at, but and energy can't be created nor destroyed. So I feel like it has to go somewhere.
True. True. What are you grateful for?
Grateful? Oh man, so much. I'm grateful for the beauty on this planet, like nature. I'm grateful for the times I get to like step back and chill. I really enjoy the little things. Like I get excited to like go home from work and like just chill. That sounds like it's the best. Nothing beats a good book for me. I love books. And then just, my friends. I have some of the best friends ever. And my family. I have 2 parents that still absolutely are head over heels for each other, and that's so rare.
That is rare.
So rare. They're so cute. They'll like write each other notes, and they're so cute. My dad's always like, that like meme of Will Smith where he's like pointing to Jada.
Oh yeah.
That's my parents. That's how my dad is with my mom, and it's so cute.
I love that. I think that's a scary thing for me, or not scary, but I'd like to envision in a perfect world. I picture myself end up with someone that I truly love, and from what I've learned from like talking to other people in like long-term relationships or marriages, that like you have to like not go, like try your best not to just have a honeymoon phase where like you show love for like the first year, and then after that like you just completely ignore them for like the rest of your life.
Yeah. Going back to Will Smith, he said something that really stuck with me one time, and it was that love should be blue, not red. We mistake like really passionate, fiery loves as like the greatest loves of our lives, but realistically, it's the person that you feel the most calm with, and that can just like get you through every day. And it's just like it totally is a best friend, a partnership. It shouldn't be highs and lows at the beginning. Like that's not, if it's not easy at the beginning, how the heck is it supposed to be easy 50 years down the line? You got to find your like best friend essentially.
True. I love that. I love that. Honestly, do you believe in soulmates?
My beliefs are super weird. So I believe in us at the moment. My beliefs on this will probably change, but I believe in a soul circle because I think that I've met so many, maybe like 5 people in my lifetime I've met and just felt like I've met you before. Like I know my soul knows you kind of thing. Sometimes it'll be a relationship person. Sometimes it'll be literally somebody that's like 30 years older than me and is just meant to be in my life as like a mentor. There's this kid from LA that was a few years younger than me that I just felt so attached to for no reason. And to me, those are like, maybe I was married to that person in a past life, or I just feel like my soul knows certain people, but I'm scared to think that there's just like one soulmate because I know that we as humans fuck up constantly and we have the potential to like mess that up. So I don't want to think that if it doesn't work out with my soulmate that I'm never going to have another chance at love,
So you really choose to believe, I don't know, I guess the more I grow up, the more I choose to believe that like there's like kind of like you said, like kind of like a circle, or like there's multiple people that are meant to be in your life, and maybe at the time, maybe things go bad or whatever, but at the time you don't regret that. Like at that moment, you have no regrets from that moment, and that's beautiful.
Yeah.
What where would you like to see yourself like 5 years from now?
This question scares me because it dives into that destination addiction.
True.
I don't want to set too many goals for myself. That sounds bad because I should have goals for myself, but it's kind of a balance, I guess. I would like to see myself hopefully by that time in like a loving relationship, because I feel like I've probably been ready for something healthy for like a good year now.
Yeah.
So that
what do you look for in somebody? What's your taste?
So I've actually noticed for myself that they say opposites attract, but for me, I look for very similar qualities in somebody. I love other creatives. That is like so attractive to me, and I like somebody that can share and be involved in my creative endeavors. Like that's so important. I tend to date people that are very similar to me, like even looks wise. As weird as that sounds, not necessarily like facially, but like same style, like just kind of looks like neither of us has slept in a week. Yeah, I like other, you know what it is? I think I always have so many weird theories and my brain's working a million miles a minute. So it's somebody that doesn't judge me for that, and because their brain is working the same way. They're also kind of, society would deem them as crazy if they were to say everything that was actually going on in their brain. Yeah. That's why I feel so misunderstood so often, and I don't talk about a lot that's in my head. So to find somebody that can hear it and would go, oh no, like that could be a thing, that makes sense, that could be a theory, and bounce off of that is like so ideal for me.
What's the best way? Sliding in the DMs, commenting on your post,
all
pick up lines. What?
For somebody to come at me or for me to go at them?
For someone to come at you.
Yeah, confidence is key no matter what you do. I think so many people don't realize like how much confidence can take you from like a 6 to like a 9. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's like
out of 10. Okay, just a 9.
Yeah,
Just a
if you were a
9.
6, if you
Not
were
a
a
10.
6, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, yeah, but yeah, it's true. Like the confidence thing. Like the more I get older too, another thing I learned is like it's not necessarily what you say, but how you say it.
Totally. Yeah, I don't know on that best way.
And always keep your haircut fresh.
Always keep your haircut fresh. There you
God, I need to take some of that advice. I have an undercut that really needs to be shaved again. God, I'm so bad with like, honestly, hygiene too.
Really?
I feel like if I was ever a celebrity, I would be the type that would have a reputation for smelling bad. Just like some days I'm just like, like my mental health will, will be doing the most.
I feel it, but I love what we've discussed. I love a lot about you. Like I love who you are, the genuinity of who you are, and the fact that you're able to open up to us. I really admire that. Before we go, what can we look out for from you this year?
I'm definitely going to be releasing a lot more music. I've added a ton to my studio, and I think I'm feeling very confident with how everything's sounding. I was struggling with my studio a lot, and that's why I kind of stopped with music for a while, but I'm finally really liking the sound that's coming out of it. So I'm probably going to release a ton of music. My YouTube probably won't start up again for another few months, but once I do start it up this time, it will be really solid. Also, a lot of photo shoots. Shelby and I like to create together all the time and do really weird, eccentric photo shoots. So yeah, I'm always just changing my mind and changing my style and changing what I'm focused on. But I will definitely continue to be releasing a ton of content this year.
I dig it. And where can everybody follow you?
My Instagram and my Twitter handle are both at Kellie Eastwood, Kelly with an IE. Those are pretty much my only mediums. And then YouTube, but don't follow my YouTube yet.
Don't follow it.
Wait
yet.
out. Yeah, wait that out a little bit. But those are my other social media.
But yeah, everybody go ahead and follow her. It was a pleasure talking to you. But yeah, guys, like if you guys made it this far, congratulations. If you like this, like it. If you don't, comment what you didn't like about this. And but subscribe for more videos coming along the way with a lot of dope and amazing creatives such as yourself. And it's a process for us just having different people on of different backgrounds, different types of people. And it's amazing. You never know what you can learn about somebody or how that can affect your life. I'm pretty sure this conversation, somebody watched this and along the way got a lot of golden nuggets in this conversation.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you and your time. And thank you for sharing your a bit about yourself with the world.
Thank you for the opportunity. I think this is awesome what you guys are doing. And I will continue to be a fan and watch now.
Awesome. Thank you. Much love.
Mad love. Love. Love.